Hello there, it's Simone. How are you today? It is Sunday. Yay! At least for me. June 16th. And I actually can't believe we're already halfway through the month. It feels like June just started. It's weird how time flies by the older you get. There's actually a mathematical explanation for that. You can look it up. It's exponentially running faster time for you, or at least for your brain. The way you look at it, you see it pass by. So I am planning on catching up on my reading journal. I found a quote yesterday on Instagram. I don't know where it's from. It was just like popped up in my feed and I read it and I thought, wow. Then I got some new washi tape. I think I talked about what I ordered last week and it actually came in. Like, what? And then I'm going to just open my weekly journal so that I can catch up on the week, because I never do that except for Sunday mornings when I'm sitting here with you. So this is my reading journal. I am going to add the next book. Oh, see, we did this 2 weeks ago or so, and I really like it. Turned out really nice. And I'm using my Stellar Progress Slim Azure, how do you pronounce that? Blue, that I got from Amazon with a medium fine nib. I really prefer that currently over my platinum carbon black in an extra fine platinum 3776. I just really like the color. Oh, I looked for the number 28, book 28, and I think we're on week 25 this upcoming week. So I'm averaging basically one book a week, which I don't think that's a bad average. However, people don't need to average books at all. Like, you read, I read when I want to read, and I don't read when I don't want to read. Gwen and Art are not in love. The author of this book that I read, I finished it yesterday actually while at work, is Lex Croucher. And of course I did it on audio. This was a currently reading podcast recommendation. I remember because that's the only place I heard about it. And how do I describe this book? I think I looked it up on Amazon. It's supposedly a rom-com. I wanted to read about the author, Lex Croucher. And they have been doing rom-coms, adult rom-coms. This one is a YA rom-com. And it is set in medieval times. And I think it's really funny. Not like outright laughing funny, but just the whole story is put a smile on my face all the time. It definitely is YA topics. So you have a little bit of teenage angst. It's a queer rom-com. And taking those more current problems of finding yourself, finding out what you like, what you prefer, who you are, standing up for yourself, taking this out. I don't think I have ever read about teenage problems in medieval times. And I don't even know if that was a thing back then, but just from my standpoint in 2024, looking back and, you know, taking those teenage problems into this medieval setting was just such a smart idea. It allowed you to actually, you know, you didn't have to relate to them. You didn't see yourself in these as a teenager, I would assume. You wouldn't have problems of having to cross-stitch or embroidery or be a woman at court or be a knight, do these kinds of medieval things that we learned in history. But also they could be amazing parallels to how society works right now. But it's not in this real life setting. It's just once removed, and so it's very, I think it's very relatable for teens, but also not in your face, because it's not taking an everyday story. You know, it's not retelling an everyday story that could happen next door. So yes, Gwen and Art are both not how you would suspect, to a girl and a boy. B, they are not in love. They actually didn't like each other as kids. They are promised to each other, and yeah, you see how they start becoming friends, and how their friendship is something that they then start to value and stand up for each other. So I really liked, I really liked this book. I will definitely recommend it to my teenagers. I hope they will take it and read it. Sometimes that's successful, sometimes it is not. And I highly recommend this. I would recommend this as a palette cleanser that is not super, you know, super palette cleansy, if that makes sense. It's a palette cleanser with some depth that you don't expect when you start reading it. And it's fun. So, super fun. Queer rom-com. YA rom-com. That does not. There is disappoint. It is, if you're worried about the spicy scale, open door, closed door romance, this is completely closed door. You can disappoint. There's a little bit talk about kissing, but not in a sexual context, if that makes sense. Which I didn't expect it to go either way. I was surprised in the end that there were no more, you know, romantic scenes, but the book didn't need those to stand. It was good. It was good the way it was. But if that is something that you're concerned about, there's nothing inside this book that would, you know, have you blush and close your eyes. So that's this. I don't really know what book I'm going to read next. I think I'm just going, I mentioned it last week that I had borrowed The Ministry of Time as well, and I wasn't sure which one I would start reading next. I decided on Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, and depending on how I feel next week, I'll either podcast my way through the week or start that book. And then I guess I won't technically be listening to books for a while. I just realized, so I should probably get those that I have borrowed from the library listened to before my vacation starts, because I usually only listen to books at work. All right, Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. I need a ruler to underline the title, and then I'll stop talking about books. If I was going to rank books on you know. Favorite book this year, I think right now I need to review what else I have had on my list. This is definitely probably 28. Yeah, probably in my top 10. Maybe I should rank them at the end of the year. That would be a fun thing. But it's higher up than I had imagined when I started listening to the book. So let's stop talking about books. Here is my quotes journal. I don't really share this a lot here because I don't fill it up much. This is a journal that my friend Amy from Lilikoi Journals gave me, and it was used as a projects notebook. If you haven't noticed, if you're watching my videos, I thrive setting myself projects, and in 2021 I wanted to do one project every month, or actually 3. So this was my January, this was February, no, here, these are the 3 projects that I did in January of 2021. Then I did the projects in January 2020, in February 2021. Then I didn't do anything. Then I tried to do a July thing, and I left it in here because I really like the journal, but I totally fell off, and then I repurposed it as a I'd say quotes journal. I just put some quotes here. Maybe if quotes are on some journaling cards, I would stick them in here. Lines from songs, German quote, and sometimes I decorate, sometimes I don't. Recently, I often put in some of the highlighted parts that when I receive the extravagant, I cannot pronounce this word, extravagant hope mailer from Brandy Kincaid. She includes a letter. I often read it, highlight some passages. I copy those in here. So this was one, this was one. And then this was one, this was one. That's what it recently has been for me. But I also found a quote. I said it in the beginning of the video on Instagram, and I really liked it. And maybe I can fit it on here, so I can just glue it in. It's pretty long, so I have to probably write tiny. I can just try and see how it goes. And it reads, I don't think being good at things is the point of doing them. I think you've got all these wonderful experiences with different skills, and that all teaches you things and makes you an interesting person, no matter how well you do them. And I just like this reminder. So let's see if fountain pens work out on this paper. And if not, I'll just find another way. I don't know if I can actually fit this in here. Let's try. I don't think being good at things is the point of doing them. I think you've got all these wonderful experiences. I think got all these wonderful experiences with different skills, different. I can see myself now squeezing that quote on the top of the paper, and then there's still room left. Different skills, comma, and that all. It sounds like it should be all that teaches you things. It doesn't matter. It's egal, I wanted to say. It doesn't matter. Teaches you things and makes you oopsie, makes you an interesting person, an interesting person. I like this, and I actually feel like I just want to copy it out one more time and include it in a happy mail letter that I'm sending to a friend. No matter how well you do them, no matter how well you do them. Found on Instagram. Yep, I like this. Here, take a screenshot, and then I should scan this in and share it on Ko-fi for you to print if you want to. Should I? What do you think? I'm not gonna stick it in right now. Maybe I'll actually do that. Okay, so I also talked about new washi tape, and I wanted to show you. First of all, it already came, which is like, what? The last time, I think that was maybe in 2017. So I just remembered that actually it's 2024. So that's been a long time ago. So I shouldn't base my reviews of AliExpress on that time ago. But I ordered those on June 5th, and they came in. They were in front of my door, I think on Thursday, June, whatever that was, 16, 15, 14, 13. So, wow. This is the Payon tape. I have this one. And I'm really using that quite a lot in my letter writing. I use a Tomoe River paper pad. I feel like I talked about this last week, but so if it's repetition, then I'm sorry. I use these with some items that I cut out from, for instance, these Dorolulu girls here, or women, not girls, women. I'm not. And then basically, this is my grounding washi strip. And when I saw that Payon has come out with this is more supposed to be fabric. That's what it definitely looks like. I knew that I wanted it. Oh, cat alarm. So, sorry if the camera shakes. Dude. These are more organic in shapes. Well, definitely not straight washi strips for sure. Really? Is that what you need to do right now? Can you move your hairy butt out of the way? I am hoping that it will work in very similar ways as the other one. So I'm glad I got this. And then I also ordered, of course, because why not? Cat PET tape. Aren't they the cutest? Much more well-behaved than the dude that is right now on my desk. He's gonna... hit the camera in just a second. And he does that because he wants me to do something. I don't know what it is, though. And he loves eating this tape. Oh, really? Can you just go away right now? And then they also, the center, there's some, it was really nice. And it came here so quickly. They included this tape. A snippet of this. This is totally not my style, so I will just pass this along to someone else. But what I like is this looks holographic. I don't even know what this, I'm not sure I can actually show it to you. But this has a really interesting effect. There's more over here too with this person right here with how many hands are there? A lot. The castle here too. It looks really nice. It's just not my vibe. So I'll pass this along to someone when I send out mail next. But I'm super excited about this. So I want to here. This is what I have done in my week so far. So I put those to the washi rolls. Often have these stickers right here. I tear them off and stick them in my journal, but I need to, my weeks are so weird right now. I'm basically sitting down at the end of the week on Sunday mornings and I'm like, what happened? And I'm sitting there like, I have no clue. No idea whatsoever. So my planner isn't here right now. So, oh, Pamela, if you're watching this, thank you so much for your letter. It's here. I got it. So I have this image. I shared this last week as well. I cut around it. It was basically one like this. So I just cut around the dude on the bike with his dog, and I will stick it down here, I decided. But, so, Monday was the last day of school. Last day of school. What else? Then this is my Max image. This is my puppy, Max. This is me. Maybe it's because it's summer-y. Well, summer should start next week, right? June 20th, around that time. So we're almost there. It's hot, and at night I sometimes wake up and I'm not really well rested. I wake up tired, basically. Even though I'm trying to go to bed earlier again. I started going to bed late. Well, late for me, which means maybe 9:45-ish. I try to be in bed by 9 because I get up at 5:30 every morning. So the Max stuff, that has changed. I'm taking Max for a walk right at 5:30, and it takes about 1 hour. And that is just it. I think that's the reason why my days feel so different right now. I started doing that this past week. Max, long walk in morning, and it's nice. It's still there. The air is crisp in the morning. It's so enjoyable. And then I go home, but it's already almost 7. And that's the time that I actually have to go take a shower so that I can get out of the house by 8. But I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I didn't do my inky thing that I have been doing since May 1st, where I ink up a pen every day. But I'm changing that this coming week. So, and then it's the last week in June that I'm doing the inky stuff so I'm just going to try it this week, and then when I pick up in July, this is how I'm going to continue doing that. Long walk in the morning, and then when I get home from work, I take the dog, pack him in the car, and go to the river so he can play in the water, so he can cool off a little. Max River. And then it's 5-ish, and then I take him to the dog park. Why I'm doing so much with him at the time is because he gets a walk at 5:30 in the morning, and then he has to stay inside basically, or he wants to stay inside because it's so hot. We can't really do anything outside. Walking on the concrete is that, well, the roads, sidewalk is just too hot. And he's a black dog. He will get overheated so quickly, and you can see it too. He doesn't enjoy it. It's like going to the other side of the street to go potty. That's basically the most you can do. This next week is not going to be as hot, but the week after is going to be hot again. So I'm just going to establish this routine. So we go to the river at 3-ish, 4-ish, and then to the dog park, so he can just get some energy out, so he can actually sleep again at night. Max River, dog park. And it's fun, actually. But it's very demanding on me, too, because I'm doing all of this. Because first of all, I'm the only other person in my house that has a driver's license, and my husband works. So that's all on me. And I enjoy it, but I also feel like I don't get any time to myself, which if I have good days, I don't mind. If I have bad days, I'm really angry at everyone and the whole world and at myself, because I got a puppy and now I'm limited by that. So then what else happened? Monday, Tuesday. I don't remember what happened then. Wednesday, I went grocery shopping, but there wasn't anything. Thursday, I don't remember either. Oh, decided to sell my Scribo. If you are interested in my Scribo, I have a community post up with some photos so you can see it. I'm selling it. Please send me an email if you're interested. We can talk about the price. It's just not the right pen for me. It's a really great pen, just not for me. I think when I think about the Scribo, this is one of those expectation and reality just don't work out. And I think it's not the pen's fault, it's my fault. And I have, again, if you have watched my videos previously, this is something that I struggle with a lot when I anticipate something and have such high expectations, then the things aren't just able to live up to that, even though they might be amazing things. It's just that my expectation that I have built up is not meetable, basically. Can't be met. So that's the stuff that I want to write about. Max, the Scribo, expectation, reality, and then I also emptied an ink bottle. And the reason why I emptied it is not because I used it up. It's because maybe I didn't buy the right ink. Maybe the ink that I received as a sample was contaminated, which isn't a bad thing. This happens, so it's not the sender's fault at all. But I loved this sample when I received it in my pen. And then I bought the ink bottle, and it never was able to recreate that experience. So I gave away a lot of samples, and I had basically one filling left, and that is actually going really well right now. I'm seeing a lot of really... Where is a notebook that I can show this to you in? I think it's in here. Lamy Safari. This is, maybe it just needed to ripe a little. What is that? Violet blackberry. I always want to write black violet berry. Violet blackberry. With a 14K medium nib. I can't seem to write today. And this ink is Sailor. Shikiori. Yozakura. It's just so lovely. I'm happy I was able to empty it out and I get one last experience, and I'm actually really happy that it's such a good experience. Picked the right pen for the ink, so I'm happy. But that's the ink that I emptied, and I kept the box. I haven't thrown it away just yet, and I thought maybe I can take this sticker and add it into my journal. So I'm gonna write this down. Sticker. I took my daughter. Oh, maybe that's also why I feel like I don't have any time for myself. Thursday, I took my daughter to the DMV to get her permit. She passed the test, and now she is able to drive. And then so I actually, because I feel like I have no time to myself, I'm going to make sure that my original idea was to take my family to the Social Security office agency to change our, I don't even know if they need me to change address, but I definitely need to change citizenship status. And I haven't done that yet, so I thought this would be perfect. I can take them all and get it done. But my sister and her family are coming that week. I work Monday, Tuesday, and then they're gonna come here on the 26th. Which means that if I'm going to do another stressful week, and just doing the max chores will be really just very exhausting, I think. It's not a bad exhaustion. It's just I don't get to play with my pens exhaustion. I also have completely fizzled out on my letter writing stuff. So if I do that on this Thursday, then I have another week of those. Thursday is usually my day off, Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not finishing my sentences, I just realized. Then I will not have time for myself until my sister and her family leaves in July. And I don't think that's a good idea, because I get very irritated if I don't have those pockets for myself. And just to prepare myself, I think I'm going to give myself that Thursday to myself. You know, Thursday to myself means that in the morning when the puppy is sleeping, I'm not taking care of him, but the rest of the day I am. So it's probably just going to be 4 or 5 hours in the morning. But that's better than nothing. So I will just move that Social Security thing to sometime in July, which is okay. It's not, I haven't done it in so long. It doesn't really matter if I do it this coming Thursday or a month later. So the pen thing, I think I want to write that down here. Weekly schedule. Oh, maybe I'm going to write that next week. So this is this week. I think that's okay. Oh, we also went and did, that's another Max thing, but also we did our yearly end of school year dinner. I don't know when it started, but we started going out for a fancy dinner every year when school is out. So we actually left the puppy at home by himself, which was cool. So that, yeah, we left him alone after. Basically, we made sure he was exhausted, and then we put him in his crate during his normal time when he usually goes in his crate in the evening. And then instead of us sitting in front of the TV, we just went and went out. And I actually didn't have a baby cam or anything pointed to him, so just so I wouldn't worry. And when we came back, he was fine. So I don't think he was upset at all. It used to be a really big problem, like even leaving the room, he wasn't happy at all. But doesn't seem to be at least at night, it's not a problem anymore, and that's already helpful. So I think we're just going to go do that even more. So I'm wondering if I'm going to use a pen. I really like, not this, but I like doing basically titles like this. I could, this is funny. I used this is a gray. Don't know which gray it was actually. It doesn't really matter. That I had in this, look at this. There's some sticky stuff on here. It's not cool. So I had gray in this palette vanishing point, and now I'm going to use green for I call it titles. So I don't even know what I'm going to write. And also, is that something you want to see? I don't know. But I need a thing. So I have been writing a letter or a note. I talked about this during 31 inks, 31 pens, 31 letters. It wasn't usually a big thing, so I would cut those cards from mixed media paper, put my sticker on the front, and then I would write a note on the back. So this is what I expected of myself every day, so it wasn't overwhelming. Like a letter you would think is maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or more pages of writing. That is not what I meant by letter. And I did that all the way through May, and then also started doing this all the way through June, and I think I got to June 10th, which was the beginning of this past week, which was really different and exhausting. So I put the names that I want to send mail to on a sticky note like this, and I'm just, when I have the time, I'm going to start the letter and write hopefully every evening, maybe 10 minutes until it's done, and then I'm going to tackle the next person. So I'm fizzling out a little bit on that, but that's also okay. I really enjoyed having that daily aspect for the month of May, but I also noticed that first week of June that there is a time when I also need a break. So that is what this is. Maybe I'll be able to do that again in July. I have been collecting a lot of postcards. So I've been thinking about maybe I'll, you know, schedule 1 or 2 letters that I want to send out, and then the rest of the week could be postcards. That's also really not a big thing, but that would help me get those postcards sent into the world. And it also helps me to do things that I really enjoy. I love sending out mail. It's a little, not frustrating is not the right word, because I also forget to tell people that I received their mail. But just like, even if you don't write back, it would just be nice to hear, hey, I got it, so I know it didn't get lost in the postal system. But I still, even without the feedback, I just like writing letters right now. And so I just wanted to find ways to make it doable. And as I said, I love the project aspect and those challenging bits of things. So I have that postcard aspect in the back of my mind. So last day of school. Theo? But now I need my pen and it's not here. So I guess, oh, I also have one more thing. So I have a lot that has been going on this past week. Theo. Doc. So my son's finger doesn't seem to be as bad as they said the first time we were there. They did x-rays again, and you can actually see that it is starting to heal already. And he just has to wear his, I think it's called splint, brace kind of thing during the night. And he can actually use his finger, which is so weird. That's totally not how things were when I broke stuff. Because he doesn't have any pain, and so that his other fingers don't get stiff, he can use his finger as long as it doesn't hurt. Things that hurt, and well, climbing is out of the picture right now. As long as it doesn't hurt, he's okay to do it, which sounds weird, but that's how this is going to work for now. I'll keep you posted on the finger thing. And yeah, so I hope to see you soon. I think that's all I have to share. I need to think on how I want to lay out this week. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about, I talk about Brandy Kincaid all the time, and she sometimes shares her journal notebook on Instagram in her stories, and I love it. It's similar, but also not what I'm doing, but I love that hers is A5. It looks just like there's so much more space. I'm continuing with this for now, but I'm really liking the idea of using an A5, maybe without dates, for 2025. I'm not sure. It like, the one hand, I'm really interested in trying that aspect out, but also I like that this is just this page, and I do this every week, and then it's done. But I have noticed that I have been journaling, dumping out things onto paper that maybe need a little bit more space or could use a little bit more space. So sometimes I feel crammed. So yeah, that's an aspect that I'm thinking about right now. We'll see how that is going to work out. I'm going to scan this in and make this available to all of my Ko-fi members. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.